This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code GOLF SGPN to score up to $100 in bonus cash. $1,000, sorry. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. The NFL and college football seasons are in full swing, so make sure you subscribe to the Sports Gambling Podcast and the College Football Experience for free picks for every single game against the spread. You're not going to want to miss it. It's literally great content. I tune in on a weekly basis, so head over there for sure. All right, we are 1 minute in, and it's time to talk about the Procore Fortnite Napa Valley Pac-12 Pacific Northwest, brought to you by Stanford Championship. A lot going on this week. We have a new sponsor. We have a interesting field 1 week before the President's Cup. So Mike Weir's in the field. Very odd in like the longest offseason in sports. I mean, I really hope you enjoyed it because it was a very long and tough week off away from professional PGA Tour golf. But we're back. We are back with a doozy of a tournament, and this is a tournament that has treated me well. I've hit 2 out of the last 3 winners here with Max and with Sahith, so it's good to have the good vibes going back to a golf course where you, I guess, handicapped it well. Because if you bet golf on a weekly basis, you know that some events you just do well on a yearly basis. So hopefully we can keep those juices flowing and cash another winner this week at the Procore. So yeah, this is the start of the FedEx Cup Fall. Very interesting. It's a week or a stretch where guys who are on the outside looking in are fighting to keep their PGA Tour cards for the 2025 season. It's a different format from what it was this time last year, so like it just changes, and I don't think it's going to be the same next year, especially if we get some sort of merge with Live. But that's a story for a different day. Let's talk Procore. Let's talk Procore DFS. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through range by range. So here we go. All right. Sahith leads the way at 10-6, Wyndham Clark and Max Homa. We'll quickly do this 10K range by itself. And I'm going to say I don't think Sahith at 10-6 is a good play. I don't think a cheap expensive top of the line, best player in the field, Sahith Theegala, is ever the right answer because he's not going to miss the cut this week, but he can easily flame out for a T39 just because he's such a volatile golfer. Even though this golf course should suit him well, I'd much prefer a guy named Wyndham Clark who is really finding things. He's kind of found some things on approach, which is a thing that he doesn't really do well at the core. But when he's playing his best golf, he's gaining on approach and gaining on the putting greens. But in terms of the driver, he could drive it anywhere. He could drive it long, and he could just do his thing off the tee, get himself a ton of wedges, and then make a ton of putts. He knows how to win in California. He's comfortable in California. Like a guy below him, Max Homa. But I do believe Max Homa is a tad overpriced, and I want to pivot down because he's here because, one, he has to figure something out before the President's Cup, and two, because he needs to see something go through the hoop. He has the actual, literal, true driver yips. He's hitting the driver like you or I out there. He cannot keep it on the planet. Now, this is a golf course that is safe to blast it anywhere you want to off the tee, but still, the driver yips are a real thing. So I'm not taking anything that Max Homa does off the tee this week fairly serious. I can see him playing well, but going forward, I don't think you want to count on it. If Max Homa is sub 12%, 13%, yeah, sure. But I think the real question is Sahith or Wyndham, and I would lean with Wyndham. All right, 9K range. Corey Connors down to JJ Spawn. Corey Connors, he's played this event before. He's striped the ball this event before. He's gained over 10 strokes ball striking this event before, but he's going to be held back by the putter. I think it's going to be a very comfortable T18 at the worst for Corey Connors, so that could work at his price point, so I don't think it's a bad play. Luke Clance, he's probably going to be a tad chalky, and I think that's a good thing that he's chalky because I think he's a good fade. Now, he is a great golfer. He's a very good golfer, and he's going to win PGA Tour events, but he's overpriced just as easily as he can play well. He can miss the cut. Like he missed the cut at 3M as chalk, as an expensive golfer, and that could easily happen. He's just too young and inexperienced, but his ceiling is infinite. Maverick Vinales at 9.4. He's played well in this event before, but he's missed 2 out of the last 3 cuts. But I like what he's doing right now, though. He's kind of in a good form coming into this event. He's found something on approach. He's spiked here and there the last month and a half of the season, which is good for Maverick. But again, I think Maverick's probably a better DFS play than he is a bet because I think he's just overpriced in the outright market for a golfer who doesn't win. But at what is his price? 9.4. I think you're getting a decently high ceiling and safe floor with a golfer who loves California, went to Stanford, down with Maverick. I love Min Woo Lee at 9.3, a golfer who can literally drive it wherever the hell he wants to off the tee, give himself a ton of wedges, and he can get scorched earth on the putting greens. Keith Mitchell makes a ton of sense on paper, but can you ever really trust Keith Mitchell? I like Keith Mitchell far better in DFS than I do in the betting market because I think his number in the betting market is horrible. He could be an interesting play because I think people are just so sick of Keith Mitchell and there's other guys around here that they want to play. A guy like JJ Spawn who's just absolutely striping and he's not lost on approach since I think Houston Open. He's gained an event on approach in every event since the Houston Open. That was back in March. So just nuts stuff from JJ Spawn with the approach. Now, I wouldn't say that this is like a golf course that JJ Spawn is perfect, but he's got decent course history, T11, T59, T9 in 3 out of his last 4 trips. He's just coming in great form. He's also a California guy, so I don't really hate JJ Spawn in that sense. So 8K range, a very interesting 8K range. Going to get to it, but first, really quickly, Underdog Fantasy. Pick'em gives you a chance to win 1,000 extra entry. NFL is back, and there are a ton of Pick'em specials to get you started. You can use specials and boost on all flex entries. Head over to the Sports Gambling Podcast website where I'm giving out my underdog picks daily. There's 2 picks per day. Promo code GOLF SGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to 1K. Underdog Fantasy promo code GOLF SGPN. And Rhythm, have you ever wanted to create your own sports betting models for football? Do you even know what a sports betting model is? SGPN's proud partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom and predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the Rhythm's top performing models, or press build a model for me, and Rhythm will give you predictions for every game and player prop you can need. Has a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insight. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast/RITHMM at rhythm. Okay. Very interesting 8K range as Tom Hoagie at 8.9 leads the way down to Mac Mice at 8K. Now, Tom Hoagie, I don't know why he's priced where he is because he's got as high of a ceiling as anyone in this field. And for a dude who's won in California before in his career, why the hell is he so low? He made Eastlake. How many guys made Eastlake in this tournament? 1, Sahith, 2, Wyndham, 3, Tom Hoagie, and that's it. Why is Tom Hoagie priced where he is? And he finished T13 at the BMW, T46 at St. Jude, T12 in this event in 2022. I think it's an egregious misprice, and Tom Hoagie will be a click for me at some point. Harry Ings, 8.8. He's kind of lost what he does best, which is the driver, which you never want Harry Ings when he's not driving it well. Although this is a course where he can kind of get away with it, but it hasn't really been good form. Now the chalk king below him, Eric Cole, he's at 8.7. He's going to be in every single lineup, and there is a world where Eric Cole finishes T29 and does not pan out as chalk. So I will fade him, and I will go down to Patrick Rogers at 8.6. You want to talk about the best Stanford Cardinal of all time? No, it's not Tiger Woods. It's Patrick Rogers. So let's do it. He's gained distance this past year. He's done it. He's done it on Pebble before. He's got multiple T6s in this event, and he's shown good things of late. So I really, really like P. Raj at 8.6. Rest of this 8K range, I think Adam Svensson at 8.4 is a good narrative play. It's not FedEx Cup. President's Cup snub. He's gonna be playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. So I don't mind Svensson at 8.4. And down the bottom of this 8K range, I think Mac Hughes is going to be somewhat popular just because it's a name that people know. He's on the President's Cup team. But Mac Meisner, I'm very interested to see what the people do about Mac Meisner because I absolutely love him. This man's gained on approach or gained ball striking at an average of 4.2 ball striking in his last 5 events. That's playing golf. That's hitting the golf ball with the best of them. And the last time this man played in California was the Barracuda Championship. He was the 54-hole leader, and he was leading for a while on Sunday. Wheels kind of fell off, but he's playing good golf. He's done it in California before. So I'm definitely down for Matt Meisner at this price. I don't think he's going to get over the top chalky, but I could see him actually probably not, because he's around guys like Matt Kuchar below him, Johnny Vegas below him. Those golfers, Kuchar and Vegas, are going to be clicked. Kuchar obviously just played really well at the Wyndham, and Vegas just won the 3M, and he's just striping the golf ball. So yeah, we're just going right into this 7K range. Sam Stevens, his DFS price is far better than his outright betting number, and I think he's a good DFS play in that regard. Also, Matty Schmidt. I like what Matty Schmidt's doing, has done off the tee, and I like the way his game suits this golf course. So top of this 7K range, I think you want to fade Kuchar, fade Vegas, and get guys like Stevens or Matty Schmidt. Rico Horry, I can see being a little popular. He's kind of figured out the putter the last month of the season, but he needs the putter. He also is a USC Trojan, so take that for what it's worth. Middle of the 7K range, absolutely love Michael Thorbjornsen, another Stanford Cardinal who should be comfortable in this field. And if you want Luke Clanton at what, 9.5, go down to Michael Thorbjornsen at 7.5, because they have objectively the exact same ceiling and the exact same floor, and you're getting him for $2,000 cheaper. Very similar game. Love Thorbjornsen's game because he's gonna be a stud. Love Thorbjornsen. Middle of the 7K range. John Kiefer, a very interesting nugget. He went over to PGA Tour Canada from Baylor University, and he just went out and just top 10 everything. And he got a sponsor into this week. So shout out Johnny Keefe. If you want to play the hot golfer, play the hot golfer. Bottom of the 7K range, Jacob Bridgman showed some good signs a few starts ago. What event was that? Was that the 3M Open where he was the first round leader, I believe, and then kind of faded. But he's got T12 and T19 in his last 2 starts, made the cut in his only trip here. Don't mind Bridgman at all down there. Alex Smalley, definitely an interesting name because he needs a few good weeks to get that PGA Tour card. He finished 12th at the 3M Open, hasn't played since the Wyndham. But Smalley, I think, is a good guy, narrative, who needs to have a good week, and he's had a great price. Bottom of the 7K range. If you want, there's 3 weeks a year you can play Cam Champ, and this is one of them. So I'm definitely down for some Cam Champ. It sucks to see Adam Schenk being at this price and playing bad golf. A good buddy of mine too just played a match with him back in Indiana, where they live, and my friend won. He shot 67 and Schenk shot 69. So it was a rough year for Schenk, but he's got a baby on the way, so that's why he hasn't been playing good. Potentially fade him in a matchup. So if you heard that nugget, if you're one of the few ball knowers and you fade Schenk in a matchup, remember why. Remember why you're fading Schenk in a matchup. So down at the bottom, let's see what we got. I love Chris Gotterup at 7-1. Lee Hodges at 7-2. I need to check a little bit about Lee Hodges because that is wow. Lee Hodges has missed 2 cuts here in his only 2 trips, and he's missed his last 2 cuts. I want to take a deeper dive into Lee Hodges and see what he's doing poorly. He's putting poorly. He gained 1.8 ball striking last year. I mean, in his last start, and that was his second best ball striking week since June. Like, Lee Hodges is not done. And you're getting a golfer who's won a PGA Tour event and he's showed a high ceiling at 7-2. I think Lee Hodges is an ESL guy every single lineup. Don't mind Pearson Coody, a guy who could drive the ball far and make a ton of putts. So that's who I like at the bottom of the 7K range. 6K range, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I will give out a few names. Joseph Bramlett is a bomber who can get hot with the putter here and there. He's coming in off of his best 2 ball striking weeks of 2024. So that's good for Joey Brams at a good price. Alejandro Tosti, I will play him on a golf course where you could drive it anywhere and get hot with the putter, no matter what his form is, at 6-7. So I don't mind him. Let's see, one more. Nicholas Lindheim, 64, has not really done much, but I'm forever high on his ceiling as a golfer in general, especially a golfer in easy conditions. This is a golfer who's, I think he was first or second in the Korn Ferry Tour last year, got onto the PGA Tour, dealt with a ton of injuries, and never really found his footing. But for what his type of golf is and what his ceiling could be, I like Nicky Lynn. So full 6K show coming, obviously, tomorrow or Wednesday. So tune in for all the content, and I will catch you guys then. Any questions, you know where to find me. Peace out.